Welcome to the ATP Project. You're with the hosts, Nicole and Steve, and today we're talking about home remedies.
Yeah, kind of going to talk about home remedies, perhaps some foods that we can use as medicine around the house if we have little issues that come up, or
big
all
issues.
Things food and herbs and all sorts of stuff.
And it was inspired by you, actually, because you said to me you've got, correct me if I'm wrong, 40 plants growing in your garden at home. Some medicinal, some are not. What's going on there? You got little groups of them?
Yeah, so we've got our veggie gardens, and then we've got our fruit area. I've got my medicinal garden. And I've got also got a shelf with potted herbs for different things as well.
I don't think you can say those herbs on the podcast either. Those ones.
No, not those ones.
No,
not the happy herbs. Well, they are. Some of them are happy, make you happy, but they're not that kind of happy.
They're not illegal happy. Well, let's just play that for the record before we get the SWAT team in.
Yeah.
All right, so that's interesting. So you've got your vegetable. We are talking about home remedies, so I want to hit you with the herbal part. Yeah. What herbs do you have in there, and what special plants?
What do I do? So I have one garden entirely dedicated to anything herbal. Wow. So in that one I've got my Vietnamese mint.
Well, Vietnamese mint, well, that sounds tasty. What's it for?
Sounds amazing. So it's actually a very good antimicrobial, believe it or not. So that and mint, both the same. So they're very good as antimicrobials for the gut, and they're also very good for liver.
Right.
Liver function. Mint itself is very good for digestive issues as well.
Very good. You know, peppermint we used to use for gallstones in the olden days.
Yeah.
Peppermint actually is a home remedy, just a little bit, is you can dilute it down. And there was a study done comparing it with topical minoxidil for the treatment of alopecia or male pattern baldness, and it was equally equivalent.
Really?
Just clear old peppermint oil. Really? Yeah, so it's great for your hair.
Oh, rosemary's another good one for your hair too.
Yeah, rosemary's good for your hair. Yeah. Caffeine's good for your hair too.
That's true.
You can get caffeinated shampoo, but it costs a fortune.
Yeah, it does. So
we're talking about home remedies today, not pharmaceutical things.
Remedies. No. So I have my Vietnamese mint in there. I have thyme.
Thyme?
I love thyme.
Do you have thyme to garden, do you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, thyme.
Yeah.
So you're talking about...
I told a joke and you totally just ignored me.
I know. You got thyme.
I never tell jokes.
You got Thymus vulgaris in there, the common one?
Yep.
By the way, vulgaris means common.
Yes.
Doesn't mean vulgar.
It doesn't.
Vulgar is a term meaning you're a commoner.
Yeah.
From the English days when because I'm an English ancestor, I can say that.
You can.
I can.
Blood.
I've got some German home remedies for you later.
Oh, do you? Oh, there you go. See, I'm part German.
Yep.
Yeah, so there you go.
It's awesome. So you got Thymus vulgaris in the garden?
Yeah.
What's that for?
So I use the thyme for, again, my gut. So I love gut stuff. So I use it for my gut. It's also very good for respiratory conditions, so good for lung, things like that. Any sort of immune type things, thyme is really good for.
Yeah. I've got a story about thyme. When I was studying natural medicine, so it would have been 95, I was paying my way through that as a professional muso, and your throat would always get infected. And my herbalist lecturer, year one, said, why don't you gargle thyme? And it really helped. I made thyme tea. It tastes disgusting.
It's not great. It does not taste good, no.
And I remember gargling, keeping in the fridge this disgusting thing. But it actually improved the tone of my vocal cords, where I went up 3 semitones, which means a semitone in music is like there's a tone and then a semitone. So it's like if you know, as a guitarist, there's a fretboard and each one of those lines you see on the fretboard going up. The fretboard's the neck. Yeah. And each one of those things is a tone. So I actually I went up 3 semitones.
Really?
Yeah, because my vocal cords improved.
Yeah,
I can't
thyme's
sing
amazing. I love it. It's great for so many different things.
So that's good for singers.
Yeah, so there you go. Any singers out there. And if ever I take up singing, I'll be good because I've got all my thyme in the garden.
Yeah, you'll be laughing.
I'll be laughing, yeah. So time's excellent. I also have in there basil.
Basil?
Basil's really good. Basil?
That's in Faulty Towers, Basil.
I know, not many people would know that, would they?
No, but Basil, the guy from Faulty Towers is still around, so he's longevity. Maybe he takes basil
Maybe
because
he does take basil. Maybe
basil's very good for your heart.
It is.
Calcium channel
blocker.
It is, yeah.
That's right. Exactly.
What else to do?
So it's good for your liver.
Good for your liver.
Yeah. Can make a nice pesto out of it too. So there you go. And it tastes great. So, you know, maybe where thyme doesn't taste as amazing, basil tastes really good. So you're getting the benefits of tasting good and being good for you.
Excellent. Now, calcium channel blockers are used primarily to reduce blood pressure.
Yeah.
But they're also used, like Vempramil is very good preventative for migraines. It's one of the first line medications for migraines and cluster headaches. So when calcium goes into a cell in the brain, it releases calcitonin gene-related peptide, which causes vasodilation, and you get massive migraines. So if you can stop that process happening with basil, that should help too. So basil's a good migraine preventative. It's also very high in magnesium.
Yeah.
Magnesium is a good migraine preventative.
It is.
So, Nic, you've got basil. What else is good in your garden?
I got coriander.
Coriander. I like coriander.
I love coriander.
What does
We were
that
just
do?
actually saying isn't there some sort of gene that
there is.
people they can't stand it, and it's a genetic thing?
Yes.
Because
I don't understand it either.
I don't understand it, but
love
I
it.
used to hate it. I could not stand the smell of it. Made me horrible. Couldn't have it anywhere in the house. But now I love it. I can't get enough of it. So,
Wow.
So I don't know if it's a genetic thing or if it's just people don't like the smell
You've
of it.
just changed the ways there, haven't you?
I have completely switched. Maybe
Wow.
I've fixed my genes.
Fix your genes, eh?
Fixed my genes. So coriander, very high in vitamin K.
Vitamin K, what's that good
To
for?
prevent blood clotting.
Yes.
Yeah, so really good for that. Good for the bones as well.
Good for the bones.
Yeah, really good for the bones.
Wow.
It's a good heavy metal chelator as well, so it helps to draw heavy metals out of the body.
That's a good, and this is something that women are very prone to osteoporosis. And when you get older, you're young now, but when you get older, it may become a risk factor.
May when I'm older.
When you're
Now,
older, like
Steve.
when you're 50, which is what, 26 years away.
Yes, that's a long time away.
26.
We keep looking at Vanessa and he's
I know,
completely not even acknowledging our
geez.
humour.
Okay,
Anyway,
this
it's
garden
hard
sounds
crowd,
good.
hard
What
crowd.
else in your garden?
And so I also have I have rocket in my garden, which is part of my
Rocket,
smoothie.
yeah.
Yeah, rocket man.
Yeah. see all the old songs we know?
I know. It's just like a quiz of old music.
Yeah.
So I have rocket in my garden because I grow all my smoothie ingredients.
Oh,
Yeah, so rocket's one of them. I put in my smoothies because I don't do spinach because it's high in oxalates and I have a bit of an issue with oxalates. But rocket's very good for your liver. So it's bitter. Or anything bitter is really good for liver, for the bile stimulation and flow and through the gallbladder and good for liver function. So rocket's in there.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's in there. One of my favourites,
what is it?
oregano.
Oregano.
Yeah, I love oregano. I
does
don't
taste
love
good.
it. I don't love the taste of it, but I
Yeah.
love what it does.
Well, what does it do?
Well, a lot of people will take oregano, capsules or oregano oil. That's
Yeah.
really common. So a lot of people take it for their gut, which is good and bad. So oregano oil is very, very strong.
Yeah.
And it's what they call a non-selective antimicrobial.
Just kills everything.
So it just kills everything. A bit like it's a bit like an antibiotic, essentially. So it can obliterate your healthy microbiome. If you're taking it, you can take it short term.
Yeah.
Or pulse it, so take it for a few weeks and have a break. But longer term, it can do some damage. But the leaf doesn't do that.
Right.
So the leaf is a lot more mild because it doesn't have that concentration of the oils. But very good for the gut, for keeping any bacterial overgrowth under control. So I love oregano. I put it in salads and things like that.
It does. It's a
Keeps your
goodie.
gut nice and healthy. Yeah, so
It's a
one of my
goodie.
favourites.
And what other drugs do you grow in your garden?
I grow rosemary.
Oh,
That's another one of my
because
favourites.
love flows where my rosemary goes. See all these old
A
songs?
song to every one of these songs.
I know.
Yeah, I love it.
Now, rosemary's really good. And what do you use it for?
So I use rosemary. So rosemary is very good for concentration.
Yep.
I use it when I'm working. I actually burn rosemary oil as well.
Yeah.
And I eat it. And as we said before, it's good for your hair.
Yeah.
It's good for your liver.
Yep.
And it tastes great.
Good for detoxifying estrogen too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Really good herb. And rosemary oil is, as I said, just a great home remedy as an aroma. Now, we did an aromatherapy podcast about a year ago. So for those who love all the burning of oils, go to that one because there's some, and they're great home remedies. One of my home remedies I've got coming up is oil you can put on the sheets of your bed.
Ah,
Yeah.
right.
No, it's not that oil. It's normal. It's lavender oil.
Oh,
Lavender.
oil.
Where do you
I
guys?
put lavender oil on my pillow every night.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, you just need to clarify, Steve.
There's no
Where
other.
you
We're not
going
going
with that one?
We're not going to be talking about staining the sheets in any other way today.
We are not.
Although you've got a home remedy for
I have
something
got
in
an
that book.
interesting home remedy we talk about, but it's all above board. It's in an actual
It's in a
classic
book.
textbook. So
I'm glad you're reading it out. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I wasn't going to read it out, and you encouraged me to, Steve.
I'm encouraging you to.
Yeah, you're the-
because I'm just incorrigible.
You are incorrigible.
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 Now, what else you got in this Magic garden yours.
So I also have chamomile.
Chamomile.
Yeah, the good old chamomile.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a nice sedative, relaxing thing.
It even
chamomile.
sounds when you say it, chamomile.
chamomile.
It's just relaxing. So
Is it German chamomile?
It is German chamomile.
I thought it was because you're German.
Yeah, German.
I love that.
Yeah, so chamomile, I don't really use culinary, cooking, but I will pick some off and put it in a pot and boil it up. And I also have, oh my God, I've got so many, I forgot, I skipped over. So I'm going through my rows as I go.
Yeah.
So we have that. Ginger, I have ginger.
Ginger, Zingabar aficionado.
Yeah, ginger, we all know how great ginger is for everything.
Yeah, it is. It's good for so many things. The main one's nausea.
Yeah.
And the stomach and all that sort of thing, and digestion.
Yeah.
Again, it's one of the herbs that is great to prevent migraines. Mm-hmm. It's a great herb to prevent arthritis and treat arthritis.
Yeah.
So it's got so many good things going for it.
Yeah.
I can't stand it though.
Really?
I don't like it.
A lot of people are like that.
Don't like it.
Oh, I could just eat it. I can just eat it raw, which is very good if you're having digestive issues or you have a lot of bloating and that type of thing. If you chew on some raw ginger before your meal, it can be really helpful with improving your digestion and reducing bloating. So it's really good for that. It's really good for circulation as well. It's a circulatory stimulant.
Yep.
So very good for people that maybe get chilblains and things like that as well. It's just,
it's good for you. I just can't stand it.
Yeah. See, a lot of people are like that. You're in there either I hate it or I love it camp. There's too many people that can take it or leave it. But you can freeze it. So the first time I grew ginger, I didn't know I hadn't grown it before, but it actually yields about 5 kilos of ginger, one plant.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So there's this big bulb under the ground. It's like.
Yeah. So you pull it out and you've got all these, they're called like your rhizomes.
Rhizomes, yeah.
So you pull them out and I had a 5 kilos of these massive rhizomes. So
Jesus.
So I froze them all. And then tip for everybody, if you freeze ginger without peeling it and then you take it out, the skin just rubs straight off.
Right.
So there's a little
because it constricts in the cold or expands in the cold and breaks, and the rhizome's oiled so it doesn't, so you'll get the skin cracking off. Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, so that's a really good idea. So ginger, I think that's a great one to have in the kitchen for lots of different things. So you can do ginger powder as well. Some people, if they don't have fresh ginger, but fresh ginger is easy enough to get, and just keep it in your fridge because it won't go mouldy.
Yeah.
So I have ginger in there. Lemongrass. Yeah, lemongrass.
It tastes great in your Thai veggies and that sort of thing, in stir fries.
So that's my medicinal garden. So I use that pretty much every day.
Yeah.
I will pick leaves and I'll put them in salads a lot of times because I like to eat them raw. Sometimes I'll heat them up a little bit just to release those volatile oils, say in the rosemary and the oregano. Pretty much every day I'll have something out of the garden.
Wow.
So, and it's actually not too hard to make a medicinal garden. So if you're living in an apartment and you only have a small balcony, you can put them in pots and they grow really well.
Yeah, they do.
So mint particularly, keep it in a pot because that stuff will go through everything.
Oh,
it's got runners, so it will take over your whole garden. So definitely so you can get a pot of mint, get a pot of oregano, like grow a little pot of oregano and your coriander. Really easy to do, and that can help with, like we said, digestive issues. It can improve your gut health. If you're feeling unwell, like you're getting colds and things, you can walk outside and pick some
herbs.
medicine.
Well, especially if you're prone to certain things. So if you're prone to the arthritis-y sort of thing, you've got joint problems, you may grow some ginger and turmeric. But if you're prone to infections, you may grow some purple coneflower, or echinacea is what it's called. So you can pick and choose what you need in your body.
That's right.
And grow it. And there's seeds everywhere, and it's a really, really interesting hobby. We grow tomatoes. We're having...
Oh, I love it. We're growing watermelons at the moment.
Jeez.
Yeah. And they're amazing to watch them grow. Amazing. So when I was away last week and when I left, it was about the size of I don't know what would that be, a 20-cent piece. Yeah. And I came back 5 days later and it was 5 times the size. It's about that big now.
Oh, my God. It's about the size of your head for those people who are holding it up.
Head.
And
we can, what watermelon's good for? It's got full of lycopene.
Lycopene for my prostate and your prostate.
Yeah, my prostate too. Yeah, very good for that. So some other things. So we can look at sort of other antimicrobial foods. So if you're having gut issues at home, or you want to make sure your gut's nice and healthy, you're not getting too many overgrowths of any bacterial or pathogens. The things you can add in there, pomegranate.
Oh,
I love pomegranate.
So good. So good for you.
So good. So the pomegranate husk is really good. It's very good antimicrobial.
Yeah.
It's a selective antimicrobial. So unlike the oregano, it won't kill off everything in your gut. It won't kill off all your beneficial bacteria. It's quite selective. So it will help. It can help the populations of your beneficial bacteria and kill off the ones that are a bit more opportunistic and a bit more inflammatory. So pomegranate's great. So that's the husk, and even they're called areoles, the little seeds.
Yep.
They're very good for cardiovascular system as well. So pomegranate I love for so many different things. Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, what else you got?
I've got papaya seeds.
Papaya seeds, yeah.
Papaya seeds are very good anti-parasitic.
Yeah.
So you've got parasites. Some people, they actually don't mind eating them because they're quite soft.
Yeah, they're
not like
chewable.
they're not a hard seed. So they're really good. So you can, and the papaya itself is very good for digestive issues. So it's got all those enzymes that help you to break down your food. So if you're having issues with poor digestion, you can get some papaya in there before you eat, and that helps with improving your digestive enzyme.
So having that with ginger would be great.
Yep.
You see how you can combine these things,
Yeah, definitely.
This is the beauty about herbal medicine is they're often combined. And, when I was in practice and we'd make up bottles of tincture, there'd be 4 or 5 herbs every bottle.
Yeah.
And I felt like adding more. You ever get that?
Yeah,
There's not enough room.
There's not enough room. Yeah, I used to love, like I think I said in another podcast, because I'm a herbalist as well.
Yeah.
So I used to do a lot of herbal tinctures, but they're very expensive these days. So
they are expensive little turd of things, aren't they?
They are, but they're great because you can put in whatever you like. And like you said, you can mix all your different herbs in at once and just down it in one hit.
Make it taste really disgusting.
It's just disgusting. Oh. It's so good for you.
Now I've got some great, it's funny, I found it, the only medical study I'm talking about today is a medical study on home remedies. And it was a survey of patients in Germany. So I thought you'd like that.
I like that. Well, they're very forward-thinking in Germany. Germans are actually one of the world leaders in natural medicine as far as the
That's true.
Yeah, research and all that sort of thing. They're fantastic.
I want to give you some stats about the Germans. What do you think? What do you think the most common? I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but what do you think is the most common reason people take natural remedies in Germany?
For a cold.
Sort of, yeah. It's for sore throat. 74% of respondents said they have home remedies for sore throats. So, this could be the lemon honey thing or whatever, but this is a home remedy, you got to remember. So, and the second one is cough, third one's runny nose, 53%, diarrhea. Back pain is an interesting one. Constipation, home remedy. Sleeping problems. This one surprised me, cystitis.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Headache, 30%. And wound healing. So go through those. So the first 3 are basically a cold. So say you're, got a cold. What sort of home remedies would we look at? Like I mentioned, lemon.
Yeah.
Honey.
Lemon, honey. I've actually got a couple of good ones in my little
go for it.
Here,
this book is awesome.
This book is awesome. I had this book when I was studying at college. That's how old this book is. But it's amazing. So this is all about how you make up your different herbal concoctions and things. But there's some really good ones in here for I did it again, Steve.
Without your glasses.
I was reading something before the camera went on. I was squinting, and Steve goes, "Why don't you put the glasses on and right in front of your face?"
That's funny.
Yeah, so I have got some good ones here. Just talk amongst yourselves.
So colds and flus. I mean, see, this is the thing. I like to keep an immune product at home. Now, I won't mention which one, but it's not going to surprise you which one I use that I keep at home. But any sort of immune product. So because normally you wake up and you're sick or something like that.
Yeah.
And the first thing you do with herbal medicines, you can take them on empty stomachs mostly. So you can take herbal medicines as soon as you start to get the cold. You don't have to wait and, I'm working, I'll go after work, I'll go pick up some drugs and you got to remember drugs are great for symptoms.
Yes.
But they're not really for the treatment of the cold. So if you can get up in the morning and down some licorice echinacea type of andrographis type immune type product, you're going to be way better off if you get into it sooner.
Quickly remember.
Okay, so garlic is also something you've probably got in. You could even use the crushed garlic and eat that.
Yeah, you can.
You're going to cry, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going to cry.
You're going to cry
It's
again.
all Matt's fault. He sits over in the corner. No one sees what he does, and then we look like the idiots when we're laughing at him.
We are laughing at him.
Yeah. Okay. So there's something that we were taught in natural medicine college that you can make at home called an oxymel.
I've never heard of this.
Haven't you heard an oxymel? You never did oxymels when you in your studying?
No.
And you never taught it at your college?
No.
Oh, there you go.
No.
An oxymel basically it's a mixture that's made up, and they use vinegar and honey.
Okay.
So the vinegar is a preservative, and the honey kind of makes it palatable. So the honey kind of disguises the very strong herbs.
And honey
that you
is
have in
antimicrobial
it.
too.
And it's antimicrobial as well. So oxymel are very good for to make a strong medicine.
Yep.
So this one here, an oxymel of garlic.
Oh.
This will blow your head off.
Yep.
So the recipe is 10 cloves of garlic.
Yep.
So these are all things that you'd have in your house. So
Yes.
if you're feeling unwell and you're getting a bit cold, get some of this and it'll knock it on the head. So everyone has some garlic that they can get hold of. Fennel seeds are really easy to get, and you can get them in your cupboard, cheap. Caraway seeds also, really cheap. And then your vinegar, apple cider vinegar and your honey. So and then you warm it all together. You mix it all up and you sort of warm it up.
Yeah.
And then you take it, and it's very, very potent. So 10 cloves of garlic is quite potent.
Wow.
Really will knock everything out. And you can make that from just stuff you've got at home in the cupboard.
That is really good.
Yeah.
I'm going to make one because it'd be preserved and you could also squirt some lemon in there.
Yeah, you could put whatever kind of the sweetener or flavour, obviously make it nice natural sweetener. If you grow any stevia, you could whack a bit of stevia leaf in it.
I don't think that would taste too bad.
Well, we can talk about garlic. I think a lot of people know about how amazing garlic is, but I did a garlic once. I did some garlic stuff as I was doing a bit of a try. I like to experiment with different things, let's just say.
You did what I did in naturopathy, where you experiment on yourself.
Everything. I experiment with everything on myself. It sometimes doesn't work out that well, but hey, at least I know not to give it to anyone else.
Yeah.
You got to try things.
You got to try it.
So I was doing, I did 10 cloves of garlic a day for 5 days, raw garlic. Yeah, not at once, but I'd take it throughout the day. So a couple of cloves and a couple of cloves. But the worst thing is you can't just swallow it. You got to crush it.
Yeah,
because it loses the allicin, and then you've got to let it sit. So the allicin is the part that works. So I felt great, but I went out.
With a guy?
No, not with a guy, just with friends.
I was going to say, it wouldn't have gone well with a guy.
What's happening right now? We don't want to be next to you. And I'm like, what do you mean? I couldn't smell it. But it comes through your skin. It comes through everything. But it was amazing. Worked really well. So I don't recommend, maybe do that under the supervision of somebody if you're going to try that. But garlic is amazing. But you could try an oxymel. So and then you can throw in your other spices.
Yeah, all sorts of stuff in there.
Yeah, you can
licorice root if you're into that.
Well, there's licorice. You can make licorice, concoctions and all sorts of stuff. So and these are just things that are in your cupboard.
I bet the vampires would have left you alone as well too.
Oh, everyone left me alone.
Everyone.
Yeah, even my dog wouldn't come near me.
Oh yeah,
that's a problem, isn't it? But
God,
so that was
amazing.
So things like that can be really good. And then other things we can look at. So say you've got some digestive issues, Steve, and you're like maybe getting some bloating or some excessive gas or constipation, all the regular things that a lot of people get, reflux. So you could get some fennel. Yeah. Fennel's very good. So it's a carminative. So that helps with a lot of that excess gas. If you're up to growing artichoke, so I'm growing artichoke at the moment, but you can buy artichokes. Yeah. Very good for your gallbladder. So very good. Yeah, very good for stimulating that bile flow through the gallbladder. And they can taste quite nice. Globe artichokes, not the Jerusalem artichokes. It's got to be the globe artichokes, so the big ones. Don't ask me how to prepare them. We were talking about that earlier. Yeah. You got to peel each leaf off it, but they're very good. Pineapple. Yep. So it's got that digestive enzyme again in the core. The hard bit in the middle is where a lot of those enzymes are. So if you can eat the core, the harder part of the pineapple, or chop it up, that's really good as well for digestion.
The artichoke or the pineapple?
Oh, pineapple.
Pineapple, for the bromelain,
Bromelain, yep. So that's really good as well and tastes good. Stewed apple is really good as well.
What's that good for?
Stewed apples are really good for gut healing. Really, really good for gut healing. So, one, it's a prebiotic.
Yes. That means that it feeds good
healthy bacteria in the gut. So it can help if you've maybe been sick and your beneficial bacteria can sometimes be a bit low when that happens. they get affected by the pathogens. It's very good at healing the gut wall. So it's got very good healing properties to it. Stewed apples, normal apples we're going to talk about what they are really good for, but specifically stewed apples.
It just helps in Chinese medicine, they have a thing about warming the food up and all that sort of stuff as it helps with digestion. It sort of does.
Yeah.
And you could also put some cinnamon in there.
Cinnamon, good for blood sugar regulation.
And fructooligosaccharides, you could sprinkle that on there. It's unlimited what you can do.
Yeah.
But just stewed apples.
Just stewed apples alone are really good. Slippery elm.
Yeah.
I recommend everyone have slippery elm in their cupboard.
Really?
Just leaving it. Yeah. I use it for everything. I prescribe it to clients a lot. I find it the most amazing product. So very good for heartburn, very good for gut inflammation or gastritis, very good for constipation, very good for increasing your your bifidobacterium species within the gut.
Good.
Like it does so many things. So I think having that in the kitchen everyone should have it in the cupboard. So pull it out if you're having any digestive issues at all.
Wow.
So that's a really good one as well. Mint, as we said, for reflux, unless you have GORD, gastroesophageal reflux
disorder. Yep.
Because the mint can actually loosen the sphincter. If you've already got a looser sphincter, it can loosen your lower esophageal sphincter and create worse. So if you have mint or peppermint, or some people have peppermint tea because you did digestion and you feel worse, you've got an issue with your lower esophageal sphincter.
Jeez, that's good.
Yeah. So they're all things that people could generally just have in their fridge or in their cupboard.
Absolutely.
And they could get onto them. And apple cider vinegar obviously is another one. So apple cider vinegar and slippery elm are the two things I always have in the cupboard. And we all know apple cider vinegar for digestive function, for, again, if you're constipated, to help with breaking down your foods, all of that sort of thing. Circulation. You can use it topically as well. It's very good because it's an antimicrobial, so it's good for athletes' food and all that sort of stuff. We can put it in sitz baths, which we'll talk about.
Well, it's funny you should mention sitz bath because one of the German things use a lot of foot baths, and there's lots of baths in Germany, like health spas now, but you've got a special type of bathing. I don't know how to describe this without getting kicked off the internet. Okay, so we'll talk about sitz
baths first maybe,
all right,
and then we can talk about the other one. So a sitz bath basically is for females, and if it's for any issues with perhaps infections or anything going on that
you want to explain how this all works and how you sit?
So it's like a little shallow basin type thing, and then you put in you can put in apple cider vinegar and other tea tree oil or things like that. Obviously, you've got to do it in the right amounts because it can be quite – and you just sit in it. So you're kind of just sitting in it.
Yeah, you drop the pH to kill the microbes, and the tea tree oil kills microbes.
Yeah.
So if you've got the wrong type of microbes there, ladies, we know what you mean.
Yeah, that's right. So that can be very helpful for thrush and things like that, all that sort of thing. So that's something you can do at home. But there is a male version we found when we were and I wasn't going to bring this up.
This is going to be the next most 5 minutes of my life going to be very painful, but go for it.
But Steve, you encouraged me to do this because I said I'm not going to bring it up, and Steve encouraged me.
Well, you can't be sexist.
So you're the encourager.
We're talking about women. We've got to talk about men as well.
So there's something, I'm sorry, everyone, this is Steve's fault, called a penis soak. So because obviously you could have similar issues as a male, and it's a bit more difficult to get in a sitz bath and get everything, kind of covered.
I'm trying to say this with a straight face. So how do you do this if you're a male?
So you get a jar.
A jar? Don't hold it like that. People are watching. We're going to get kicked off YouTube. You get a jar. Don't do the hand motions with it. Stop crying.
I've got my tissues.
Hang on.
So yeah. Thanks, Timo. I'll do that perfect, just in case. So you use a jar.
Not with the hands. You get in trouble.
A jar.
Yes.
And you put the same things in the jar that obviously, what you would put in sitz bath for whatever condition that you have going on. Yeah. And then you just... you are making me.
I'm not saying a word.
Thing, aren't you? You soak you're in there. You soak it in there.
My hand.
Your penis.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah.
So that's a male version. There you go. If you need to do both bits, then you
What
probably
would
will
be
need
both
more
bits?
Steve, you're the word.
But people listening go, what do you mean by both bits
I
of
don't
my
know,
penis?
Steve, you're probably more of an expert at this than me.
Guarantee you I'm not.
You have the equipment that I don't.
I guarantee you, I've got the equipment. I've never used this. I've never done this.
This is supposed to be a serious talk about medicinal foods. But yes, then the men can have the sitz bath if they have issues with
Scrotal issues.
the franks and the beans.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Frank and the beans.
Trying to think of the polite way of saying this. We over that bit?
So can we get past that now?
Good.
Because Steve was like, you got to bring that up.
let's
So we
move on.
can move on from that.
Now,
But that's something you can do at home. with baby
Germans
shoes.
also do, and I'd never heard of this, but a wet pack to the calf.
Huh?
And it's like, what's that? And the wet packs to the wrists and all that are used for migraine medicines, because you get that cooling and people know about putting cold compresses on the head.
Yep.
Shrinks the blood vessels, which is good for migraines.
That's right.
They also use mint tea, steam bath, and chest rubs. And I'm not joking. This last one, I have no idea. And you got to help me with this as a German.
Okay.
Pretzel stick and Coke.
Oh, pretzel stick. The old pretzel stick and Coke. That's one of the classics from back in the day.
What the hell is that?
I don't know. I've never heard of it.
Really?
No, I
50%? Look at this. I'm not making
What
this
do
shit
they
up.
eat the pretzel and drink the Coke and then
I do not know.
Takes their mind off the fact that they're sick because then they feel
So
sick from the
it's
pretzel.
salt and sugar and caffeine and they're all sort of...
I wouldn't call that medicinal.
No, I wouldn't either. But
I don't know what that is.
Rubbing the old chest and
Wow.
rubbing a back rub, which is good. Over 50% of respondents. So pretty remarkable.
Well, I mean, poultices are great. So,
Yeah.
and you can make a poultice at home for lots of different things out of things that you actually have just sitting
Yep.
around in the cupboard. So, there is a mustard. You can use a mustard poultice. So that's just using mustard powder. So a lot of people have mustard
So
powder.
a poultice, better explain what that is.
So a poultice basically is something that, like, it's a paste that you mix up, and you can wrap it in something. So you can wrap it in some muslin cloth, or you can even put it straight on your skin, depending on what it is, or you can wrap a bit of plastic around your skin, put it on top. And basically the idea is it is drawn into through your skin.
Yeah.
And we can use it for so many different things. So a mustard poultice can be really good for chest or throat infections.
Right.
It's also really good for feet. So if you've got dry skin, that type of thing. Oatmeal is very good. So if you have trouble with skin issues, so dry skin, sensitive skin, a bit of dermatitis, that type of thing, you can actually make up like a poultice. So you make up the oatmeal really thick thing of oatmeal, and you put it in a stocking or pantyhose type thing, and you tie it up and you drop it, you hang it over your tap in your bathtub, and then you run your bath. And you have that, and it kind of filters through the water, and that can be really good for your skin. And that's just oatmeal.
In my previous life when I was a chemist and I worked for Cussons, they had an oatmeal soap out.
There you go.
And I liked using it because it felt good on your skin, but they had literal oats in it.
Yeah, this is just pure oats. So a lot of people would have oats in their cupboard.
Yeah.
Chickweed is another really good one for skin, but that's not as many people have that in their cupboard. But oatmeal, you can do ginger compresses as well. So like you said with the compress, so that's a little bit different. That's where you're soaking some material in the solution, and then you're putting it on wherever. So ginger, very good for PMS, that type of thing. So you can make a ginger compress, and that's just...
And you just put it over the uterus.
Put it over your lower abdomen. So those types of things. So and they're things that everyone has at home.
I in this study that I've got, the only one that I've got for the podcast, guess where most of the knowledge comes from? It's from the family. I love that. Over 90% of the home remedies used in Germany, over 90% come from the family. Information.
As in passed down from the family.
The GPs, only about 55%. So we're mainly talking about family history here. Yeah. And I agree with that. I mean, I think that's a really good, and there's some guidebook ones there and that sort of thing.
Yeah. If something doesn't work, then it's not going to be going down generation to generation, is it? So these things do work, although they're anecdotal, a lot of them. Yeah. They work really well. And the food as medicine works really well. So, say, for instance, say you've got high histamines, Steve.
Oh, me,
we all know about histamines.
They're devils.
Yeah, so if you've had too many of high histamine foods and you're prone to histamine issues and you've been histamined, like I was the other day, and you have nothing in the house and it's Sunday and you can't get to the doctor,
Yeah,
you
what do
can't
you do?
get anywhere, you can't get to the chemist to get some antihistamines, you can get into some apples.
Apples?
Yeah, apples are very high in quercetin, and quercetin helps to stabilize mast cells. So mast cells degranulate and release histamine in when they're triggered by the immune system.
God.
So apples are very high in quercetin. And this is a cool story. When I had COVID, and obviously COVID, I got a lot of histamine issues from COVID. All I craved was stewed apples. That's all I could eat for a week was stewed apples. And so your body knows, because it was very high in quercetin, which was helping with the histamine issue. So very good if you're having histamine issues. Red onions are really, really high in quercetin as well.
Onions,
Nigella seeds, very good they're very, very good for histamine issues. I mean, not something that everyone would have in their cupboard, but you can get them in any health food store, or most good health food stores, and you just keep them in the cupboard. I've got a grinder of so you grind your salt. I've got a grinder of Nigella. Very, very good if you're having histamine issues, because it helps with that. They're also anti-inflammatory. They're also antioxidant, and they're also antimicrobial as well. So they're really good for the gut. So if you're someone you have sort of a pathogenic overgrowth or a bacterial overgrowth or something in the gut, get onto the herbs we said earlier. So your oregano and your Vietnamese mint, and you can get some Nigella and make a big salad. Put all that in it. Really good for the gut, good for any histamine issues. So things like I think that's really handy. So, yep, you're staring
I've got a home remedy here for treatment of migraines.
Yeah.
Cold compresses or having sex.
Oh, what?
Sex has been found to be great
if
for
anyone
migraines.
has ever had a migraine, they would know that you would never go there if you have a migraine.
No, I wouldn't. But basically, the effects of having sex if you orgasm, sorry to be so graphic, that causes a release of chemicals in the brain that help shrink the blood vessels.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I've had migraines in the past, and there's no way I'd be doing anything like that. So
but that was a good home remedy here, and this is from quite a famous doctor, Jim Beecham, which is an MD from America, who has all these home remedies too, which I thought was quite interesting. But that's one of them. Wow. Migraines, forget that one. It'd be terrible.
That's definitely a big no.
Another one that's very good, that it's sort of like one you can take daily as a home remedy prevention, is green tea.
Yeah, green tea is great.
It's been found to protect against cancers and as a potent antioxidant because of the epigallico-catechin gallate in there. But it also lowers the odds of a few types of cancers like skin, breast, lung, and colon.
Yeah.
They're biggies.
Very good.
I love that one.
That's a good, ECGC is good for anti-aging, which probably would have come out by the time this one comes out.
Yes.
So very good for anti-aging.
Really good. We've spoken about it. Yeah. Another one that's here is chicken soup.
The old chicken soup.
Now, very, very good for colds and flus, and it does work. They have tested it, reduces the symptoms. Won't cure your flu overnight, but as an adjunct, I mean, what a great little,
You got to boil the whole chicken though. I find boiling the whole chicken is much better. Some people just chop up chicken and put it in it. You got to boil the whole carcass.
Yeah.
Sorry for people who are plant-based, but we're in the corner there. But because it releases the collagen and all the minerals from the bone and that sort of thing. So that's, I find, where the healing properties are in that. So that's really good. Yeah.
And the other one they've got here is neti pot.
Oh, neti pots are awesome. Yeah, I love them or hate them. You look at me, you're looking at me weirdly today,
I've never
Steve,
used one, but
something.
it's funny because I think I might have to going forward a bit, because they're really good, aren't they?
They're really good. I have personal experience with a neti pot.
Go for it. Tell us about it.
I have some
what's a neti pot?
So a neti pot, it came from it's very Ayurvedic, which is Indian natural medicine, ancient natural medicine. And it's just a little pot. They're plastic now, but I think they used to be stainless steel or ceramic or something with a long spout on it. And then you put a saline solution in it.
Yeah, so salty solution.
Yeah. And then you basically turn your head sideways and you stick the spout up one nostril and you pour it and it comes out the other nostril. And then you change sides and you do the other side. And it clears all your sinus out. Yeah. And I was doing some house sitting years and years and years ago, and I had an issue with cats, and they had cats, and they were real fluffy cats, so the fluff went everywhere.
Oh, my old cat, Flatface.
Like Flatface, yeah, probably a little bit, like fluffy like that, but their faces weren't so flat.
No.
Yeah, so they weren't a flat face.
No one had a flat face like flat face.
Flat face was the
He did get a
one
trim
and
every
only.
now and
One
again.
and
He
only.
looked good on the trim, though, when he had a trim.
Well, that's true. When he had his hair cut, he did look quite good. Yeah, he did. He was stylish.
Very good-looking cat.
He was a very good-looking cat, yeah. Very. Always looked happy. Always looked, he loved the world.
Never looked grumpy.
No, never.
No.
But I had trouble with the dander. That's usually what people will struggle with. It's not so much the hair, it's the dander and the oils and things that come out in the coat. So I had severe allergies and sinus, and my eyes were all swollen. So I started using a neti pot, and within 3 days, all gone. Sorry, Matt. I just whacked it. I whacked them.
So all right.
Again,
So you tilted your head to the side. So just for people. So let's say I was treating this nostril. I tilt my head that way. So if my left nostril, I'll tilt my head towards the left and tip it up my right nostril.
Yeah.
And if you know the anatomy of the noise, it goes in one and out the other. Now I love that because firstly, salt's an astringent.
Yeah.
So, but also it physically pushes the gunk out of your nose.
It does, and it works really well. And it can go down the back of your throat a bit, so you're going to kind of block the back of your.
Yeah.
And it takes a bit to get used to. Some people are just like, no, I'm not doing it. But once you've done it, if you have sinus issues, I would also recommend getting checked as to what the sinus issue is. But yeah, it works wonders. So I swear by them, and they're easy to get. You can get them from the chemist. You can get a little in Australia anyway. You can get a little kit, and it's got your neti pot, and it's got all your saline sachets in it.
Wow!
And it's very cheap. So anyone that has sinus issues on and off, you could leave that in the cupboard and do a bit of nasal cleansing.
It's great, isn't it? Because when you get those terrible colds and you got that stuffy nose that you just think, what the hell, it drives. Because my nose is not very good. I deviated septum.
I know. If you've got a crooked nose.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. This is not my eyes.
No, I broke it when I was.
Look at you, like, yeah, he's a little bit crooked.
No, it's stuffed up. It's 4 millimeter deviated septum.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
4 mil.
turns to the right.
I can't remember. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but I smashed it when I was 14. So it's never great. And, I've seen ENTs and they recommend neti pot, of course, which is good. And it's like it's a physical cleaning of your nose.
It is, yeah.
And I remember when my nose was worse when I was younger. I've got a story about this. And I had a cold for a few weeks. I wasn't well when I was 17. At 18, I had a sort of an operation to straighten my nose, and it did a 90% job. It was pretty good, but my nose was so chronically blocked that I got a tube that from St John ambulance that I was in and shoved it up my nose just so I could breathe.
Wow.
It was
a visual you don't want to think about.
disgusting. Yeah, but it was all closed off, and this tube physically opened up. I was that sick of it.
Wow.
And I just chopped it off there. So this little
So you just
bit.
walk around with a tube hanging out of your nose.
For the night I did. It just drove me nuts.
Wow. Well, you need to get onto a neti pot.
Yeah, well, I didn't know anything about them back then.
I mean, look, there's all these things about the microbiome now, and we have a skin microbiome, we have the gut, we have every other microbiome. So we also would have our microbiome in our sinus and up our nose.
We do.
So we have to be careful of that. We don't want to be doing it continually.
No.
But short term for chronic, for acute issues, I find it really good.
Yeah, I think acutely would be great.
Yeah. So that's
another
really
one
good
that this doc recommends.
Yeah.
Is cinnamon.
Yeah. Cinnamon's great, isn't it?
It's great, isn't it? It's like
good for blood sugar regulation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's also antimicrobial.
Good for your gut.
Yeah, good for your gut. Unless you have histamine issues, because it's very high in histamines.
Oh, bloody hell.
I know. It takes the fun out of it, doesn't it?
Screw that. I don't have any. I don't have histamine
you can eat it, yeah.
No, it's really just great to add into smoothies and that sort of thing. Helps your blood sugar.
I used to put a teaspoon of cinnamon in my smoothie every day.
Wow.
A big whack of it.
Yeah.
It's very good. I don't now because of the histamine. I have it every now and then. But yeah, very good for blood sugar. You know what else is good for blood sugar, Steve?
What?
Bitter melon.
Oh, yeah, bitter melon.
Yeah, and you can get that in the supermarkets now.
Yeah.
Really. So that's just it's exactly what it is, bitter, but it helps us to regulate your blood sugar.
Blood sugar levels.
Yeah, so that's really good. So if you've had a really high sugar meal and you've got some bitter melon in the fridge and you've got some cinnamon in the cupboard, you can chop up some bitter melon, and then you could have some cinnamon for dessert, and that will help to maybe on some natural yogurt.
But not cinnamon on donuts.
Cinnamon on donuts. So that kind of defeats the purpose, really.
Very much so.
Yeah, but so that's really good. So helping you, and apple cider vinegar as well for blood sugar. So if you've had a really big meal or a big splurge on a dessert and you're feeling awful, get out your apple cider vinegar, have a little shot of apple cider vinegar and a little bit of water, because that helps to balance your blood sugar levels as well. And then get on to some bitter melon.
Or don't eat the shit in the first place.
Don't eat the shit in the first place. But I mean, if you do, and everybody does, I find that the apple cider vinegar works really well.
Wow.
So if when you feel a bit sick and your heart's a bit racing from all the sugar.
Yeah, I've done that before.
Yeah. Get shot some apple cider vinegar.
Oh.
Yeah, and that will help to calm everything down. Also very good if you had a very fatty meal, or people who have issues with breaking down fat. So if they have issues with their gallbladder, poor bile flow, apple cider vinegar is really good to help with that nausea, because it helps to then break down those fats. So it's really good.
I've got another home remedy, which is sort of a home remedy. It's hot and cold bathing. Now, we've got a guy who works here in sales, and I won't mention his name, but you were speaking to him this morning, the guy.
Yep, I do.
He has a cold bath every morning, super cold, and swears by it. Now, I can't think of anything worse I want to do to myself, but I know I've done pocket. They are very good for you. They burn fat. They do all this. This is a great home remedy for post workout. If you're sore and everything too, there's a lot of data on it. I hate to say it, but it's good for you.
Yeah, I have cold baths in summer because where I live is extremely hot. And also, I always talk about histamines, but that's because I've had issues with them.
Yeah.
But in the heat, it can trigger histamine response with me if it's really hot. So I get in a really cold bath, and that helps with any sort of edema and stuff like that. That's in summer. I would never do it in winter. But once you're in, you do feel amazing. Once you're in and then you get out, you feel amazing. It's a bit tough to jump in, but people do ice baths and all that sort of stuff now on Brave.
He does.
I couldn't do that.
And actually, another guy here, I won't mention his name, but he's the maintenance manager here. He does cold baths in the morning. I found out this morning too.
Oh, really?
So isn't that nuts?
There you go. I will do a cold shower every now and then.
Oh, yeah. In summer, I do after running, because you cool your body temperature. But going on for you about a hot bath. Like an Epsom salt bath and that sort of thing.
I've got Epsom salts on mine.
Oh, Jesus.
Steve. Copying me. Yeah.
Stealing off each other's stuff. So Epsom salts, what are they?
Well, they're magnesium chloride.
Or sulfate, yeah.
So I use them and recommend them for people who we want to detoxify their body a little bit, but we can't usually work on liver function and liver and gallbladder and kidney. They're all the detoxifying organs. But if they're very, very sensitive and we can't go in with some herbs, then Epsom salt baths are really good, because it creates a gentle detox. So I use them for that. I think they're amazing for that, and they do help with people who are very sensitive. And then we work our way up to bringing in liver herbs and internal herbs. But but really good for detoxification for sensitive
I think
people.
you're right. And I think the lovely thing about it is that you can have this hot bath, very relaxing, good compliance. You can add a few drops of lavender oil in if you want to relax, because magnesium's great at relaxing too.
Yeah.
So you've got that sort of home remedy.
It's really good.
We've also got the good old classic ice packs, which are, used for first aid, but if you've also got, some migraines or something coming on, you put that over your temples. You put some peppermint oil in first if you've got some, and then you put ice pack over the top. And it's because peppermint is very cooling, in Ayurvedic medicine and Chinese medicine. So it just takes that heat away.
Yeah, really good. Just do it. For the little tip for people: don't put an ice pack straight on your skin and leave it on for a long time. I did that not long ago. I hurt my back when I was doing deadlifts, so I ran down to the kitchen and grabbed an ice pack and shoved it down my back of my pants and went back and kept training, because I really wanted to finish
with
training.
An ice pack in your ass.
With an ice pack in my back. And it was good. Everything went numb, so I finished training. And then I came down and I'd actually created it looked like sunburn, and it was it peeled off, literally killed the skin off. So it can burn your skin. So you be careful, don't leave it on too long, or put something under it. Don't just put it straight in your skin.
Don't put it on your skin, and don't continue with deadlifts afterwards.
And if you've hurt your back, don't continue deadlifting. I just really wanted to get through the work. It was only very minor twinge, so I caught it early if that's any. But don't do that at home. If you hurt yourself when you're training, don't keep training.
Have you got one there? Because I got one here, but have you got one there?
Constipation, Steve.
Oh, yeah. What do I do for that?
Chia seeds are really good for constipation.
Chia seeds, yeah.
So you soak them.
Yeah.
People just have them so you've got to soak them overnight. And they're very mucilinogenic.
Yep.
Very hard to say. And they help everything slide through. So if you're having a bit of constipation, get some chia seeds. Flax seeds are really good as well. Again, you have to soak them. Kiwi fruit.
Kiwi fruit, yeah.
With the skin on it.
Yeah.
So two
Oh, you eat
kiwi
the
fruit.
skin?
Yeah, it's because it's all the fibres in the skin too. You don't have to, but you want to go more. I think it's nice. Kiwi fruit's really good. The other good thing about flaxseed is good for women with PCOS.
Yeah.
Because it helps to reduce testosterone.
It increases sex hormone binding
Yeah.
globulin.
Yeah.
Very good. What about senna? Do you ever use senna teas for constipation?
I don't use senna.
Bit
I
harsh?
find it quite harsh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but some people it works quite well for.
Yeah, it just gets things moving.
Yeah.
Depends how chronically, if you're really badly constipated, maybe.
Yeah, for that. But definitely. Dragon fruit. Oh, that's another thing I've got in my garden is dragon fruit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, pink dragon fruit. Have. Very good for constipation.
Wow.
Because of the high prebiotic.
Yeah.
It's a high prebiotic and very high in antioxidants because that pink colour.
Pink colour.
Yeah, they're a strange plant. They look like a big cactus.
I can't remember what they look like.
They're really cool, like the actual plant, and then you have these amazing big pink things that hang off with little horn. They're really cool
weird
looking
things,
plant. Really cool looking fruit. But yeah, that's good for constipation as well. And slippery elm is also really good for constipation. You can have that 2, 3, 4 times a day. Helps with everything as well. So, and that's all stuff that you have in your cupboard.
Wow.
Yeah.
God, we've got a lot of stuff today, haven't we?
Well, look, what about teas? So this is something I love.
Teas, they're all over, yeah.
Because it's really easy to get a tea. And it's not, don't just go get a tea bag from the supermarket.
No.
Get loose teas.
Yep.
So you can go to, those bulk food places and they've got the big tubs of them. But it's really good to have some jars of teas because they're so good for a lot of different things that you can just grab hold of if you don't have any access to, a pharmacy or anything like that. So liver is really good for liver. So all your liver teas. So
Taraxacum or dandelion tea.
Dandelion root.
Yeah.
You've got your St Mary's thistle, got your globe artichoke, mint, that type of thing.
Yep.
So really good if you're having constipation again, or you want to do a bit of a detox, or you're feeling a bit sick in the stomach. That's really easy. You can mix them all up. So what I say to clients to do is don't just put them in a little tea strainer and put water over them. Make a decoction because it becomes more medicinal.
Yeah.
So instead of, as I said, just, you can get those little tea balls and you put in the tea ball and pour the water over it and let it sit, infuse. So this one I say get a saucepan and I usually do a big heaped teaspoon of each herb. So I might do 3 or 4 different herbs. And then you fill the saucepan and I boil it, I bring it to the boil.
Yeah.
And then I turn it down and let it simmer for half an hour.
Nice.
And it reduces and it becomes really concentrated. It's pretty strong, but then you just pour it in a glass and you can down it.
Yeah.
And that becomes a medicine more than just sipping on a tea. And that's a really nice,
Gee, that's
easy.
a good one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a really
and you
good
can do that
one.
with all sorts of teas.
All
you
sorts
look
of
up
teas.
the
So
herbs.
if you're having a lot of anxiety, that type of thing, you can do chamomile, lavender, go to cola, passion flower, skullcap, all those really nice calming herbs. You can do antifungal teas as well. So if you're having any fungal candidas and things like that. So olive leaf and echinacea, things like that. Skin, if you're having issues with your skin.
Wow.
Another really good one, antifungal, is coconut oil.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, so if coconut oil is
got
sitting in
that
the
acid in
cupboard,
it. Can't remember the name,
caprylic
but-
acid.
Caprylic acid, that's it.
Yeah, so really good for any candidas and also good for your mouth. So have you ever heard of oil pulling?
Oh, I've heard of it.
So that's when you put oil in your mouth and you swish it around for 5, 10, half an hour, however long you can do it, and spit it out, and it's supposed to pull all the toxins out of your mouth. But I do it for people that have toothaches. So obviously get it checked also if you've got a toothache, or if you've got an abscess or anything like that.
This is home remedies. So
Home
we can do
remedies,
it.
yeah. So this is good as an interim if you before you can get to the dentist. And then just a teaspoon of coconut oil, put it in your mouth and just swish it around for 10 minutes. Don't swallow it, spit it out afterwards. Really good for because it's antimicrobial. So it's good for anything going on in your mouth as well. And that's something you can just keep in the cupboard.
Jesus.
Yeah, so that's a really good one.
God, we've cured everyone's ailments now.
I know, just with what they've got
any
sitting
others,
in the cupboard. So what else have we got? Well, if say you've had a big night. Well, here's a good one. Say you've had a big night, Steve, and you wake up and you're feeling really dusty.
Never happens to me.
Never.
I'm too old now.
That's true.
Big
That's
nights.
back in the days
It's
when
not that I wake up.
when you were a muso.
It's just jeez. I mean, I never really drank a lot, but we did other things that just are not good for your health.
Yeah, well,
It was terrible.
Anyway, we won't go there.
No.
They're too much.
No, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, so.
But paid my way through naturopathy. So
There you go. There you go.
All right, so I've woken up and I've got a hangover. Yep.
You're really awful. Get some coconut water.
Coconut water.
Yep, coconut water is full of electrolytes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that will help to replace those electrolytes. And, if you're out and you've been sweating a lot as well, so coconut water is really good for that.
Yep.
Even all the coconut, the whole thing, the whole coconut's great
so
for you.
good for you.
Coconut's really good for you. Again, it's got that antimicrobial
Yeah.
activity. So, yeah, that's a really good one. What about urinary antiseptics, Steve?
We used to use cranberry juice.
Cranberries.
Yeah.
Cranberries are amazing. So really good for that sort of thing. Diuretic. So if you're woken up and you're quite puffy, say you've had a lot of sugar
Yep.
and you hold fluid, celery.
Oh,
Celery
yeah.
is really good. It's a really good diuretic. So melons, anything high in water. So cucumbers.
Yep.
It's another thing I grow in the garden.
Wow.
Got pulled out 13 cucumbers yesterday. Big
Wow.
Cucumbers. So they're really good there because of the high water content. Good for your eyes as well. You can put them on your eyes and good for that puffiness.
Puffiness, eh?
Yeah, so
I want
that's-
fatter cheeks.
Yeah, you want fatter cheeks. Yeah, apparently my cheeks are fat enough.
Yeah, yours are fat enough.
Yeah, there we go.
I like more filling.
It tells me how on my chubby cheeks all the time.
Oh, compared to the size of your body, you got really good full cheeks.
Cut fat, chubby cheeks apparently.
No, it's healthy.
Yeah, that's true. That's
People
what everyone's.
pay, to get like fillers put
Oh,
in
well,
there.
there you go. Maybe I could sell it off.
No, my
Keep it for
I
myself.
probably don't mind saying this. My wife had fillers there once. Look good.
There you go. Yeah, well, there you go. I've got natural fillers. There you go. So I think that's a pretty good list of things for people that probably have a lot of that stuff in their cupboard.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is on top of eating well, living well, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
These are just remedies to get you out of that hot spot before you can see a naturopath or before you even go to the doctors or pharmacy or whatever. This is just stuff
Yeah.
you can. Yeah, I think it's great, Nick. That's been great today.
Yeah,
We've
so
run out of time now.
look at your food as medicine, not just eating food. So if you've got all your, you can fill your spice cabinet full of those medicinal
Yep.
spices. Like I said, you can grow some of the herbs we mentioned in pots and use them in salads and cooking and things like that.
Get them into your life and now and have them there for when you're sick.
Yeah.
Buy some cloves of garlic. It's good for you anyway, but it's good if you're sick. You just go nuts and have that beautiful honey, apple cider vinegar and even garlic cloves. It's brilliant.
Yeah, really good.
Wow. All right. Well, we'll be back next week with some other fun stuff. So we'll see you then.
Yeah, see you guys.
See ya.